There's a man named Tony. Lives a couple houses down from me. Known him ever since I was very young. Pretty much my entire life. I rarely see him because he doesn't come out of the house too often. I heard stories about him that he was drafted for the Vietnam War. And he fought in Vietnam. But he took a bunch of... The story goes that he took a bunch of drugs. Whether it was LSD or something along those lines. Psychedelics or something. And he pretty much went insane amongst the combat stress and all that stuff. And he hopped into a Jeep. An American Jeep. And he pretty much stole the Jeep and started driving it. Started driving it through fucking who knows where. And then eventually the whole military police or whatever caught him with helicopters and shit like that. There was nowhere for him to run. I mean, Vietnam's an island, you know? And when they asked him what he was doing, he said, I took the Jeep because I wanted to drive back home, you know? So that was sort of a fight or flight mechanism, I guess. And the mechanism was flight. So he got into the Jeep and tried to get the fuck off the island. But how are you going to drive over the ocean? How are you going to drive a Jeep to America? You know what I'm saying? But he was so gone, so out of his mind that he thought it was a possibility. Now, I tried to talk to him on several occasions, but it's kind of pointless because you yell his name is Tony. You're like, hey Tony, what's up? And he just gives you this like super blank stare like, what the fuck is going on and who the fuck are you? Even though I pretty much known him my entire life, like I've seen him so many times and he knows that I'm sort of a neighbor, you know? But every time there's just this blank stare, and then he gives this like sort of awkward wave in fear, and then he starts walking away really fast. And when you pass by and you see him, he usually hides. Like, there were several times where I walked by his house and he was like walking out of his house, but then he saw me and then he just kind of went back in and locked the door and shit. Now it makes me think about a lot of stuff, you know? Every time I see him, I just think deeply. No one kind of knows what the hell he went through. There's just rumors, you know? And rumors are rumors. You don't know what the man went through himself. Only he knows that. But, long story short, after the Vietnam War, well, he obviously got caught by the military police, and they sent him back to America. For some sort of psychiatric evaluation and psychiatric help. But I don't know, it's been years and years now, and he hasn't changed. He's obviously on disability. He doesn't work anywhere, and he wears the same clothes all the time, and he smells like piss, so obviously he just pisses on himself all the time. Rarely leaves the house, and when he does leave the house, I see him heading towards the public library, but he has this really strange walk, like almost a wobble, and he like spins his head a little bit, like, I don't know how to describe it, and he talks to himself, and he has like these mannerisms where he throws his hands. It looks like he's arguing with himself, with his inner demons, so to speak, you know? And it makes me feel sorry for the guy, it really does. And if you pass by his car, he has this like really old blue, sort of light blue car. And in the back, there's an American flag. But it's faded in color because of all the sun shining on it all the time. So it's a faded American flag. And to me that's very symbolic because it represents his mind, his faded mind after fighting for his country, so to speak. And what does he have? Broken mind, a broken life, and a disability check from the military. That's it. And every 4th of July, if you see him on the street and the fireworks are shooting, you can see him like dodging and like fucking growing on the ground and shit and like sort of maneuvering, evasive maneuvers and stuff, because that shit sticks with you. If you go through a traumatic experience like that, if you hear loud bangs, you're gonna think it's bullet shots, you know, so it's post-traumatic stress pretty much. So you see him like dodging bullets and shit that aren't even really there, but it just makes me feel more and more sorry for the guy. It's really fucked up, because I heard that he was a very shy, introverted individual, very nice guy before he went off into Vietnam. But after he came back, he's just never was the same. And it makes me think of what went on in the war, you know, like they show movies and shit, but you don't really understand it completely. Like, yeah, there were shootouts, there were raping Vietnam women, you know, they were caught by Vietnam soldiers, you know, POWs, all this stuff. It's really fucking crazy. But yeah, just thought I'd make a quick video, share that story.